Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey.
I'm Holly.
And this is the very controversial, though I don't think for you, 2022 Toyota Supra 2.0. And in this video, we couldn't bring the whole family, just a two-seater, but we are gonna find out what Holly thinks of this red sports car. Stay tuned. All right, Holly, first question, and I think I've got you pegged on this one. I think you really like the styling of this one, but what say you on the looks?
She's pretty. I mean, I don't normally go for red, but I feel like if you're gonna have a car like this, red it is.
Lightning McQueen, maybe?
Yes, it's definitely some Lightning McQueen vibes, some Sally / Lightning McQueen vibes.
Okay.
Yeah, very pretty.
What are your thoughts on the very long hood?
Is it long? I mean, I guess it's long.
So the
Not really.
faster version of this, because we'll get to driving impressions in a little bit, has a 6-liter inline engine, so it needs a much longer hood. And
So this is the faster engine.
This is the slower one.
Oh.
Yeah, if you can believe it. But they needed a lot of room under the hood for that bigger engine, which gave it this very long proportion. In fact, parking next to your Jeep in the driveway, I'm actually parked by the back doors of your Jeep with the front doors here. But why don't we scoot around to the back, because my personal opinion, and probably yours, that is the best overall angle of this car.
Stop putting me in a box.
Okay, now putting you in a box, giving you free reign. Thoughts on the back end?
Okay, this is my favorite angle.
Figured.
You are right, of course. This is like, I don't know, when I grew up dreaming of sports cars, like this is the kind of sports car. The angles, all of this.
The hips.
The wide hips.
The wing, the lights. Yes, it just all kind of does it. I do have to ask two things because it is a critique of mine, and I want to see just how controversial it is for you, the female consumer. Right here on the door, fake. And it's just kind of tacked on. You can see where it doesn't do anything up here. Also, fake. Pro, con, indifferent.
Never would have known it. So, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, now that I'm looking at it, yeah, I guess I know. Very indifferent, don't care.
See?
Because, I mean, mostly, I wouldn't even know what those are supposed to do as real ones, whatever they are.
Right.
But I think it's pretty. I mean, I don't think it takes away from the car, but...
Absolutely not, and it flows so well into this curvaceous hip that you can see from the rearview mirrors.
Which is, I guess
so
that's
perfectly.
probably what they're doing, just...
And I would be remiss if I did not bring it up. We have tested both the Toyota Highlander and the Toyota Sienna, so 3-row SUV and minivan. And this car was referenced in both of those videos for this body line going into the curve here. And then the Sienna even had this very same duck-tailed type spoiler with the word Sienna right across here. But in your opinion, definitely translates better in a two-door sports car?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I liked them on those vehicles too, so yeah. But of course, just a different, exciting feel on a sports car.
Speaking of exciting, why don't we hop behind the wheel, let Holly drive around Tyler, Texas, and see exactly what this 2-liter 4-cylinder can do in the Toyota Supra. All right, Holly, getting all settled in these very supportive, bolstered racing seats that I approve of. Your thoughts?
Definitely approve. Love them. Love them.
Leather, suede, we've got some carbon fiber up here, adjustable steering wheel, lots to get fit and comfortable in here, right?
Okay, are you going to start driving now?
I mean, I'm waiting on you.
I'm waiting on you. So give me the go.
Since when? I had a sneaking suspicion you really liked this one when you came back to get it in the middle of a work day. So all of that putting you in a box earlier, that that was based purely on my investigatory research up to this point. But I figured you liked this one. You have been surprisingly, well, unsurprisingly, mum on anything other than that.
Yeah.
So I am dying to know your impressions of this vehicle. We already know you like the styling.
Yeah.
Now that we're sitting in it, what are your thoughts inside?
Well, you said that it was controversial, and I really had to fight back Googling why this is controversial. I have a suspicion that it has to do with things I don't really care about. So I really like it. I like driving it. The seats are comfortable, like you already said. There's just a couple of things here and there that, for instance, the main gauge up here on the front is the RPMs, which I understand why. But the speed limit is the smallest thing.
Right.
And so that I don't love. But, you know, and it's kind of like low tech. And
right up your alley.
Right up my alley. So I'm interested to know how much it is. I know I'm like skipping for it, but I'm interested to know how much it is because of some of those things that are like it's the manual seat changes.
No power seats, no power adjustable steering wheel.
No double, obviously.
Yeah, no memory
seats.
seats.
Memory seats.
Yep.
But I like this little handle thing.
Gear selector.
Gear selector. It makes me feel like it's a manual, even though it's an automatic. Which, even though I like driving automatics, I still like to feel like it could be a manual. I like this feature. We've said that in other cars, that just is really slick, really nice. And I'm not a huge fan of the steering wheel.
Interesting.
I don't love the steering wheel.
Yeah, the steering wheel's not my favorite either. Really quickly, I will, for anyone unaware, as you are, this is a controversial vehicle because Toyota partnered with BMW to make this. And the Supra my generation loves from the 90s was completely Toyota in-house based. Everyone jokes that this is essentially a BMW. And even when I plug my phone...
What's wrong with being a BMW?
It's not a Supra. And even when I plugged my phone into the infotainment, it wanted me to download the BMW app to talk to the car. So that's the controversial statement or side of this vehicle. But yes, sitting in it holds you, it hugs you, and it is a very well put together vehicle. I did mention
fun to drive. It's pretty.
This does have the smaller engine. It's a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making the same amount of horsepower and torque as one of the last Mercedes that we drove in the C300. So it makes 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, and 8-speed automatic transmission, though a manual transmission is coming. Rides very well. We just went over railroad bumps, tracks, barely felt them.
I don't know about barely.
Really? Okay.
I feel like it does ride really smooth for a car that's sitting on the ground.
And we are on the ground. Yes, this is very much a sports car.
Which you kind of expect that in a smaller car.
What are your thoughts? The windows are tiny.
They are tiny, and but I was expecting to have a little bit a harder time seeing out, but I really don't. Like the back window, I can see everything. I mean, I know there's limited visibility because it's a small car anyways, but I was really expecting to have a harder time seeing out than I do. These windows go all the way as back as far as they can with no columns or anything like that, making visibility easy out of the side. Pieces, just, you just got that
B-pillar.
But yeah, at the back, I mean, it's kind of expected in a smaller car though, right?
Right. Visibility's good. You like how it rides. Feels very comfortable inside. It does not beat you up. I go into more detail in my solo review if you want to know what this is like, because I drove it 2 hours back from the DFW Metroplex. So I've really put some seat time in this, but...
these seats are amazing.
Yes. Going to other vehicles we were testing at the same time as this had me wanting these seats
Yeah.
more and more.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now, we joked in the intro that Tucker is not with us. This is a two-seat sports car. There is a rear anchor point back behind the seat, but these seats don't really allow for easy child seat installation, and there are no lower tethers. So be sure and consult your owner's manual if you just must take a child in a car seat in your Supra, because you can actually turn off the passenger side airbag. So while this is not our typical family review in that it's just the two of us, it is giving a mom's point of view and Holly's point of view on what this would be like.
Maybe this will be my mom car, and you get the minivan.
But depends on the minivan. So we are stopped at a light now. The engine cut off. That has typically been something you've been critical of in cars. What are your thoughts at the engine start-stop?
So this isn't my first time driving it, and I didn't even notice that there was an engine start-stop. Now, when we stopped here, because I kind of stopped quickly because the light changed, it was more noticeable, but I'm not hot or anything like that. I did hear it. I heard it. But if I hadn't heard it, I wouldn't be able to tell. Can you tell?
I could tell a little bit, and it is starting to get a little warmer in here. Thank goodness we have cloud cover today, because we've been triple-digit heat here lately, and very much appreciate the AC working at full blast.
But these seats don't get hot.
Surprisingly, because
But it
they're
does
black.
have but it does have it through the middle. What is this texture? A suede.
Yeah, so
That's nice.
Very nice. Thoughts on infotainment?
There's not a ton of tech, and I also am a fan of not a ton of tech. So, I mean, you've got your buttons for the radio, you've got your buttons for your climate, which, by the way, there's dual climate, which I was a little surprised about, considering some of the other features it doesn't have. But I'm okay with that. I'm a fan of that. I like this little controller knob.
While we're talking about it, we are currently getting 29.7 mpg in the 171 miles that we've driven this. I will go into more detail on the fuel economy realized by us in our testing and my solo review, but safe to say that has been a surprising benefit of this 2-liter turbo. We are getting ready to really test out the suspension and the ride of this vehicle, turning on the historic brick streets of downtown Tyler, Texas. This is perhaps the stiffest vehicle that we've ever taken, the two of us, down these brick streets, but definitely not the stiffest vehicle I've taken. So it'll be very interesting to see your take on how this handles the brick streets.
Well, I have already driven on the brick streets.
I know you have.
To say that. So that was part of my opinion of it's not the smoothest ride ever.
But I can say for performance vehicles that I've tested and taken on this road, this one takes the cake as being the nicest and most well put together. No creaks, no rattles, very solid, very quiet in here.
It is nice. To be honest with you, if the steering wheel was different, you would have to pry me out of this car.
That is the one thing, huh?
The one thing. Well, let's talk about price. Well, let's do the railroad. You'll have to do the wobble head test.
It's a little wobbly on those decommissioned tracks. So I do have the window sticker here on my phone. This is, because it is the 2-liter Turbo 4, not the most performance-oriented nor the most expensive. And I don't really want to give too much away. You know what is and is not on this car.
This is not the most expensive Supra?
No.
Okay.
This is basically the entry level.
And I'm guessing you're mostly paying for like the engine?
The engine, and really in this one, the suspension and just the rigidity of the vehicle, the sportiness of the vehicle.
Okay.
What say you on the price?
I have no idea. It's shot in the dark. 90,000.
Whoa.
Way too much?
Yeah, you can buy two.
Oh.
So, actual sticker
So
price.
we are keeping it.
Actual sticker price on this one, $47,845 as spec'd. This one does have a few options, but starts at $43,190.
This is in our price range.
In our price range, yes, but in our time of testing this, we have not put a child seat here, and there are 3 of us. So that...
well, you're getting them anyway.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. So, needless to say, at 30 mpg realized by us in our 170 miles of testing, the fact that you absolutely love this, I'm sure we can find a steering wheel replacement that you would like. You know, go in a little aftermarket. It can be done.
Heck yeah,
Hardly
I like this
any
car.
complaints with this one, huh?
Yeah. I'll deal with the steering wheel for that price. And the manual seat mover. But you won't get to drive, so we won't need to worry about that.
Well, that's true. Yeah, we won't have to worry whatsoever about moving those seats because it will always be in place for you. And there you have it, gearheads, a quick drive with Holly behind the wheel of the 2022 Toyota Supra 2.0. If you want to know more of her thoughts on vehicles and see what she is driving before they are up here on YouTube, go find her on Instagram at Femo Consumer. You can find all that we do at GT Garage Talk on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the like. And you can go to gtgaragetalk.com for links to everything, including our award-winning podcast. But until next time, gearheads, bye. You tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready. Oh, wait, I'm not ready. Okay. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Wait for this truck to leave.
Too bad out here.
No?
What?
Truck's seen better days. You ready?
Mm-hmm.